Hi, I'm Becky. I'm back with some tips and tricks for hormones and optimization for the AO scan. One of the easy things I like to do is just simply going into the vitals report. You can deselect all and just scan and optimize your digestive function. And then you can also just scan and optimize the hormones. Something else that you can do would be to go into your body systems. You can hit deselect all, hit just the hormone button. I also like to do the endocrine and the digestive because, again, the digestive system and the hormones go hand in hand. And again, that report is simple. You can just scan and optimize. Once you've done that, you can pick your Cephi playlist. Now, we have a lot of hormone, menopause, gut and digestive Cephi playlists, but one of the easy ones to do if you do not want to make a frequency playlist, we have lots of different choices. I personally like the anti-stress support because we all know how the stress system, the vagus, the nervous system, how that correlates with the gut. One of the other frequencies that I like to use is the female endocrine support plus if you're a female. We also have the his and hers endocrine reproductive support Cephi. And then we also have the menopause support. Keep in mind when you're working with menopause and hormones, you also want to address cortisol, which could be stress, and your glucose and blood sugar. We want to keep those two sections, those two items in mind as we are working with the gut and the hormones. When I'm not using the AO scan, something else that works really well is actually the infinity wand. You can use the terahertz frequencies to wand the abdominal area. That will help the digestive areas. You can also wand around the liver. If you'd like, you can even wand some of the liver meridian points to help stimulate that, as that is all going to help balance your endocrine system, your hormones, and the gut and digestive system. Another area that I like to optimize with the wand is the vagus nerve. You can wand up and down all around the vagus, all around the head, all around the throat and the neck, in the ears. You can even do all of the different cranial nerves with the terahertz wand. That will help stimulate the vagus nerve. It'll help relax the nervous system, which in turn will actually help the digestive system, which will help your hormones. We also have, if you don't want to broadcast Cephis to you, you can use the Cephi dots. You can imprint those frequencies that we just talked about from Cephi into the Cephi dots, and then you can put them in any of the meridian points that you choose. I personally like doing the liver meridian. You can look up the liver meridian points, maybe select one or two areas to plop those Cephi dots on with your associated frequencies. So those are just some of the tips and tricks and some of the ideas that I like to use to quickly scan and optimize your hormones, which will help with your digestive system. So I hope this helps.
Hi, I'm Rita Dickinson, and I'm here to talk to you about confidence tonight. And, you know, there's a lot of different definitions for confidence. My favorite is this, and that's feeling assured of your own abilities, value, and worth. Now, AO Scan has several things that can help you with confidence. One, we've got inner voice that balances your emotions, and when you listen to your tones, it helps everything. We also have the AO tuning fork. You can actually hit scan, and the software will pick which tuning fork you need. We also have Cephis. Now, the Cephi frequencies, there's a lot of things about confidence. We've got confidence, self-esteem, and love, fears, anti-stress support, ultimate emotions, accelerated learning, self-confidence and self-esteem. And under the Bach flower remedies, we've got lack of confidence and feeling blocked. So you can use those tools. One of my favorites is MindSync. MindSync is one of our newest sections of our scanner, and we can actually rewrite the script that's in our head by making our own affirmations in our own voice. It's called binaural, and it uses both sides of your brain and bypasses your subconscious. So you literally can reprogram your brain to the affirmations you want to see and the manifestations you want to see in your life. And that increases confidence as well. But the number one thing is, I want you to be competent to use the app to scan anyone for any situation, because some of the best testimonies are because someone had the guts or the competence to scan someone. So you can make a difference. Be competent and use your tools and get stronger every day. So stay confident, everybody.
Hi, I'm Nicole Rodriguez, and I would like to share some tips on how to use Solex tools when we're struggling with fear and anxiety, maybe caused from a loved one not being well, or when you're faced with a challenging situation that you have a really difficult decision to make. So the first thing that I would say is to go inward, to find peace and clarity. And the absolute best tool for this is the inner voice from the AO scanner. We all know how important it is to be emotionally balanced, especially navigating a tumultuous situation. So I always think of the AO, the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. Many things come from this, but what I like to see it as is the start to the day and the end to the day should be used with the AO scanner. So the start of a difficult problem until the end of that problem, use your inner voice, use the scanner, the alpha and the omega. And definitely when you're listening to your inner voice music, pair that with your color therapy glasses, and remember that music has a 4D quality that is able to release the soul from imprisonment and allow comfort and peace in situations. So also inner voice can clear negative and trapped emotions and false core beliefs. So this will help to reduce the fear and reduce the anxiety. Next, I use MindSync, and there are great affirmations that we already have set up in there for MindSync for us to use. But my favorite way to use MindSync is to integrate affirmations and learnings from powerful books that I've read and put them into MindSync. So one of my favorite books, and I have it here, it's The Game of Life and How to Play It. And this is by American author Florence Shin. She wrote this back in 1923, and it's brilliant. So I like to use these affirmations in MindSync. And how I did this is I basically read through the book, and I underlined anything that really resonated with me and felt like I needed to include in MindSync. And then I made a list of all of these, and I recorded my own MindSync. And just to give a little bit of a background, you know, we know that MindSync connects the subconscious mind, or the soul, with the conscious mind, which is the human mind. And when you add affirmations of the superconscious, that's the spirit. So I feel like there's an even greater shift when you connect all three, the soul, the human mind, and the spirit. So I have one example here from the book that I have here, the Florence Shin book. And this is for a difficult situation. So I'm gonna read it to you guys. I put this situation in the hands of infinite love and wisdom. If blank, and you can put your situation in there, is the divine plan, I bless it and no longer resist it. But if it is not divinely planned, I give thanks that it is now dissolved and dissipated. So this helps to really take the burden off you and reduce your fear, reduce anxiety. So once you have your inner voice music and the affirmations that you'd like to use, you can save them all to a playlist. I like to put them into Spotify, and I even have different playlists for different situations, different people, and then you can meditate listening to them. Use your AO Infinity mat. Definitely use your rose color glasses. They're great for anxiety. And then you can even broadcast anxiety frequencies using Cephi at the same time. So it's all about biohacking, using all these amazing tools that we have and putting them together to help you in a situation. So my rule of thumb is that any decision made out of fear cannot be the right decision. So if you can be still and put your faith into a higher power, whatever or whoever that is for you, God, Source, Buddha, the fear will dissipate and the situation will dissolve, or healing will occur, or a new situation or solution will present it to you and put you on the right path. So I hope that helps some of you, and thank you so much for having me here.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandy Harvey, and I would love to talk to you today about something near and dear to my heart. And it's about one of my favorite ways that I like to work with clients on their healing journey. And one of my favorite things to do is to help people move out of that fight or flight mode and into what we call the rest and digest mode, or sometimes we call it the stay and play mode. I like to explain it like if you are in fight or flight, it's like all of your fighters have gone off to war. There's a perceived battle, and your energy is going out to fight that battle. So your fighters aren't home. There's nobody there to repair the bridges and the infrastructure and all the things that need to happen for things to run smoothly. So when we learn how to bring that energy back home, then the body has the resources that it needs to do what it was designed to do. So the body is able to help bring things back into alignment. So often we see energy levels return, inflammation begins to decrease, sleep is restored. There's just more of a sense of peace and calm and groundedness and an overall sense of well-being. I like to call this the shalom zone. And I really believe that is where we were designed to live. So this is where the AO scan really shines, particularly inner voice and mind sync. Those help us to remove those layers of things that we weren't really designed to carry. And so those things, they keep us from living our best life. And once we were able to remove those things, we were able to live from more of a place of authenticity. I know for me personally, it's helped me to remove some blocks that kind of kept me in the background, kind of made me feel like I needed to hide in the shadows and really not step up and be who I was really created to be. So I believe that authenticity has a really high vibe. And that's why it's so important to remove those layers so that we can be all that we were created to be. So authenticity aligns with truth, and truth has a very high vibration. Because, we say it's truth that sets us free, right? So as we remove those layers of things that we weren't meant to carry, we're able to step into that authenticity, our true selves, our highest selves, and we're able to bring the gifts into the world that we were designed for. There's a quote by Michelangelo, and he was asked one time how he was able to carve such majestic statues. And he said, "I saw the angel in the marble, and I carved until I set him free." And that is so inspiring to me because I believe that's what we are doing with AO Scan, particularly inner voice and mind sync, as we're removing those things that are not our highest and best, and we're reprogramming those messages in the subconscious mind that are holding us back. We're removing those layers of things we weren't meant to carry so we can be set free to step into that beautiful destiny that we were created for. And the world needs your gifts. The world needs your unique essence. And I believe that AO Scan, MindSync, and all the other many wonderful resources that we have through Solex can help you do that.
Today I want to talk about Think Drops. Curcumin is one thing. We know that it's an incredible anti-inflammatory, but nanotech curcumin, the Think Drops, are absolutely incredible. They provide what we call NRF2 activation. Now, NRF2 is a gene pathway. This pathway is actually responsible for not only detoxing, but also to your antioxidant enzymes. So your superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione. Why is this important? Well, first and foremost, it will lower oxidative stress in the body. Oxidative stress is the free radical damage that happens to your cells. How do we prevent that from happening to us? Well, the bad news is you can't. Every single one of us has oxidative stress in our bodies, and a lot of it. And so these free radicals are going through our bodies like a rampage, attacking our cells, whether it be the air that we're breathing, the foods that we're eating, what we're drinking. You cannot avoid it. Stress causes oxidative stress. Exercise causes oxidative stress. Lack of exercise causes oxidative stress in the body. So therefore, it is something that you cannot avoid, but you must combat it. And the only thing that combats this free radical damage is antioxidants. So can't we just supplement with antioxidants or eat a bunch of blueberries or drink a glass of red wine? Well, yes, you can. However, with the trillions of free radicals running through the body, it is impossible to supplement or eat enough or drink enough to possibly combat all of this damage in the body. So therefore, opening this NRF2 pathway where our bodies are making their own antioxidant enzymes floods the body with antioxidants, combating those free radicals and that damage in the body, just like Pac-Man would.
We usually make progress by setting objectives and setting goals and working our way toward those goals. And hopefully we're setting objectives that lead to those goals as a result. You know, we definitely are lifted by the systems we put in place, and those systems should be built around the objectives we're trying to reach.
Yeah.
It's interesting, not only could you have health goals and friendship goals and relationship goals, or learning goals, but you also have business goals. And so I think on the contest this week, at the end, after the live chat, comment what is your business goal? And if you're here as a customer, what is your health goal? Or what is your goal in being associated with Solex as a whole? And we're gonna give away to 3 people the planner and the tracker.
Yes, the business planner, business tracker that were developed by 2 of our top leaders, Beck McQuilty and Jessica Zavaios. If